here's the story about a little ant who just wouldn't ever give up.
Alright, welcome to Uzik's Ultimate Darkfall Unholy Wars guide. I am going to be going through the basics of Darkfall Unholy Wars. A couple parts. The first part is going to be the tutorial, the character creation, just getting started. So for anyone who doesn't know, Darkfall Unholy Wars is a sequel to Darkfall. It is an MMO. It's largely open PvP, full loot, so when you kill someone, you get all their stuff. If they kill you, they get all your stuff. And by all your stuff, I mean everything on your character. You can bank, of course. You can claim cities, you can conquer cities, so things like that. It's not like Minecraft where you can build anything anywhere, but it's definitely a lot more free than like a World of Warcraft and such. And it also has a very fast-paced Twitch, third-person, first-person combat. So a very skill-based player skill. Alright, so starting out with the basic character creation, one of the big differences from the original Darkfall is the races are all pretty much the same. They're all the same height, about the same width, they have the same hitbox. So that used to be different sized hitboxes for different races in the original. It's not the case anymore. And also the stats are more on the same level, and you don't have any racial bonuses, so pick whatever race you think looks the best. It's pretty much just cosmetic. Also, you can live in any city, so a human can live in an orc city, no issues. So pick a human, basic character creation stuff, hair color, hairstyle, a couple different faces to choose from. Ooh, I like 7. No hair. Yeah, that's what I like doing. There are 4 roles. Roles are essentially a class. Warrior is a tanky melee DPS. Skirmisher is a squirrely, fast-moving ranged DPS. Elementalist is a ranged DPS caster. Not very mobile, pretty squishy, doesn't have a lot of hit points. Primalist is also a squishy caster, but they're a healing class. And they have better, I guess, staying power because they can heal themselves and they have some stat boosting abilities and such. So I'm going to choose Primalist. Each role currently has 2 schools. There are supposed to be 4 eventually. Currently there are 2. You pick a primary and a secondary. Your primary school gets an ultimate ability down here. So you see there are 4 in this one, 5 in this one. The last one's your ultimate. If I were to switch them around, see, it's the opposite way. So your primary school is supposed to have the benefit also of less mana cost, higher magnitude, things like that. So, I mean, all this stuff can be changed very easily, though. You can just open up an interface, you can change your role, you can change your schools, you can change your stats stuff around. So you don't have to worry about picking a class in a school and then being stuck with it. You can just, you can just switch it up whenever you want. Just pick a name. Check, make sure it's good. It's just doesn't even check. Alright. I'm just going to create now. So it's going to take me to a tutorial area and go through the very basics of the game. These tutorials are, I wouldn't say instance necessarily, but there are a lot of identical ones. At least that's what seems to have been in beta. So it's very short tutorial. Don't worry about trying to group up with your friends in it. After you complete the first portion of the tutorial and you go to an NPC city, then you can try to meet up with your friends and such. And I'll go over how to do that. And also, this is the first part of the guide I'm doing now is just the basics, getting started. Later guides I will put out some more advanced things like your key bindings, auto hotkey, etc. Alright, so when you come to the screen, you see that we have this big pop-up thing with the entire keyboard blocking. You hit Z to make a smaller version of that, so it shrinks up. It's just going to be basically, it's going to tell you to do something on the left, and you have to do that to progress. This big yellow wall here will prevent you from going any further in the tutorial until you complete the current steps. So just hit WASD, hold down shift to sprint, hold down control to walk, hit spacebar to jump, hold down C to crouch, H to rest. Resting regains your stats, and then just move to unrest. Alright, now I'm going to scroll up or down on my middle mouse wheel. If you look on the bottom middle of my screen, you see an empty circle. As I scroll with my middle mouse button, you'll see it get populated. So now there's a sword here. I'm going to click down my middle mouse, that sword's going to pop out. I'm going to hit R to unsheath. Also, if it's sheathed and you just hit left click, which is your default attack button, it'll automatically unsheath it as well. Move to the next area. I'm also going to hit caps lock right now. Caps lock is auto sprint. You'll see right now I am just walking very slowly. Hit caps lock, and now I'm sprinting. And I don't have to hold down caps lock, just tap it, and it is enabled. Right. You'll also notice, especially if you played the original Darkfall, the graphics are much nicer. It has nice shading. I have shadows turned off right now. I don't think they add a whole lot, but you know, it's definitely a graphical improvement over the original Darkfall. The models are nice, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna go to this training dummy area. Just hit one of them once. I'm gonna hold down V, which is your parry key. Parrying is essentially blocking. It mitigates incoming damage. Alright, I'm gonna scroll through my middle mouse again, pull out my bow, click down middle mouse. Alright, now I have my bow out. So you'll notice I have a little thingy in the middle of my little reticle. It gets bigger and smaller depending on how fast I'm going. It also gets bigger and smaller depending how long I charge my shot for. So it's more accurate the longer you charge it for. Same thing with magic, does the same bit. Also, hitting G is going to change your perspective. So now I'm in third person archery. Hit G again, back in first person. So I'm going to stay in third person. I'm going to hit escape, bring up my GUI mode. So you see all my menus come up here. You have menus on the right hand side, you have menus on the left hand side. Left hand side are basically chat menus, changing the font size, opening different chat windows, and everything else is on the right side. So all of your map, paper doll, things like that. So also the backpack. So they're giving you the shortcuts right now, so I'll just use those. Hit B, opens that. So now I'm gonna hit P, open up my paper doll. I'm gonna drag the Dawn staff over to the paper doll, and now I'm gonna exit the GUI mode, and using the scrolling middle mouse again, I'm gonna select my Dawn staff, which is your starter staff. So I'm just gonna open up my GUI again for a second. Oops, and go to my backpack and my paper doll. These three items are your starter weapons. You have a one-handed sword, a bow, and a staff. You will never lose these items. When you die, they will always be in your inventory. So you can always, you'll never start with nothing. You'll always have these starter weapons. Alright, so I'm gonna equip my Dawn staff. And now I'm gonna use my default left mouse attack for the Dawn staff. It's called Mana Missile. It shoots out a little glowing swirly thing. That's your basic ranged magic attack. It doesn't take any reagents or anything, it just casts. Alright, now I'm going to open up my my radial menu. So I'm going to hold down Alt, I'm going to hold down right click, and you'll see this little thing here. This lets you select different skills to use. So Alt and right click, I'm going to open up Take Heal Self, and now I'm going to just right click and Heal Self and cast. Yep, there you go. Alright, now I'm going to hit Tab. Tab's going to open up your radial configuration menu. So I can drag and drop items here. For now, I'm just going to drag and drop light over to my right radial menu. I'm going to hit Tab again to close this. Same way, I'm going to hold down Alt and my right mouse button. And I got the selector up. I will put it over light, let go, and then I will just right click, and light will cast. And light is just kind of a loud, annoying light spell. It casts light, you'll see the little shadows go away, You walk with it. Dungeons weren't really enabled in beta, so we don't know if it's going to be useful or not, but based on the amount of noise. Also, it aggroes mobs as well if you cast light on yourself, so I'm just going to walk down here to the next portion of the tutorial. Enjoy the ambient sounds, which is another big thing they added into the game. So you hear the water, you hear the birds chirping, things like that. See that red flash there? That was a monster spawning. By default, monsters are not spawned until you actually run into the spawn area. So when you see that little red flash, hear that little red noise, that means or you see that flash, hear that noise, whatever, you know that a monster just spawned. So those are just the little starter guys who are going to attack me. But I just need to run into this area here. Again, ooh, pretty waterfalls. Hear the crackling of the flames. Magical. I mean, it's definitely a huge improvement over the original in terms of graphic quality. Audio, some of the sound effects, some people might say, are not at the same level, but the ambient sound is definitely a nice bonus. This big guy here, don't worry about him, just run past him. He doesn't really serve much purpose, except to kind of look menacing. So now we're going to just run into this tunnel here for this next portion where it says kill an imp. So now they might have fixed the spawn by the tents, because there used to be a spawn of imps at the tent, but at some point they disappeared. So they might be there at release day, who knows. But until then, I'm just going to run into this cave. You'll notice if you look in the top right hand corner as well, you can see the mini-map. So you can kind of tell what direction you're facing, where you're going, things like that. Coming up to this drop here. So you're going to see that when I drop down here, I'm going to take fall damage. You can be knocked, not really unconscious, but incapacitated by fall damage, but you will not be outright killed by fall damage. See, there are a lot of corpses here. It's interesting. Guys just kind of chilling there. Alright, so I'm going to hit F to open up the corpse. I'm just going to double click to loot the lizard on a stick. So I guess there are actually lots of lizard on a stick on all these corpses. So if you want lots of lizard on a stick, you can sit here and kill these things for a while. But lizard on a stick is basically the lowest level food, so I wouldn't dedicate a tremendous amount of time to doing that. So just gonna keep moving deeper into the cave. We're almost done with this segment of the tutorial as well. As exciting as it has been so far, but we're almost finished with this. Alright, so we're gonna see a big old dragon up here. He is just, again, to kind of look menacing, and I guess kind of show you that, like monsters in the game, they actually aim, and you can actually dodge their things. I can actually, hide behind there, and it doesn't damage me and such. So, I mean, it's nice when you think about other games where, everything is automatic damage and things are locked on. So someone casts a fireball at you, and that fireball just magically hits you. Whereas in this, you can always dodge. You can dodge melee attacks, range attacks, spells, whatever. Same, players and monsters, just as effective. Hear him roaring and such, making quite a lot of noise. Alright, almost out of here. So I'm just gonna sheath my weapon and just run up to this little portal shard over here. I'm just gonna hit F to use it, and it's gonna teleport me to the starter areas in the NPC cities. So yeah, so that it's can't say it's an extremely informative tutorial area, but it gets the basic job done. It teaches you the most basic commands and how to get your character going. So I mean, technically at this point you could just you know, use that knowledge and play the game, and you know, you wouldn't be top ranked in PvP player on the servers, but you know, you could still get by and at least learn to play the game from this point. And so now we're going to start another kind of tutorial using the feat system. So they have a bunch of starter feats set up. A feat is basically like a quest, except no one gives it to you. It's kind of like a quest and an achievement, like an Xbox achievement where you get, you know, a reward for doing a set action. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to hit escape, bring up my GUI mode, go to my settings, which is this little monitor down here. I'm just going to edit the sounds a bit. Music can actually cause lag in the game. Each area has its own soundtrack, and so when you go to new areas, sometimes that new soundtrack will cause lag. So I'm also just going to lower the environmental sound a bit. You can't turn it completely off, so see, even all the way down here you'll still hear some like crickets chirping and stuff. So I like to keep it around the middle and just lower the master volume a little so you can hear other people talking on TeamSpeak and whatnot. I'm also just going to take a look at my video options. So at this point, if you were having issues in the tutorial with performance, hit custom. Big things I would say: disable shadows, shadow quality low, shadow smoothing low, anisotropic, you know, 2 times. You're not going to see a huge difference. Reflections low, reflections on high is a, you know, resource hog. These things down here, auto optimization, I've never found it to really help a lot. And object clipping too, I kind of find annoying. It basically means that certain things are clipped so they don't show up at a certain distance, so I just leave those off, even though they don't really help performance. But these 2 down here definitely help performance. You can turn off these 2 as well. I didn't find them to really use up a whole lot of resources, but you know, if you're having trouble playing on the basic settings, you can turn those off. So I'm just gonna hit accept. The screen will lock up for a minute, but then it'll come back. So there we go. Everything looks nice. Okay. Yeah, that's the only thing I want to look at right now. So I'm going to now focus on the top left-hand portion of my screen. So I'm gonna just go in GUI to show you. These are feats. So the first feat here is use the Bindstone. I'll walk up to this Bindstone here. See this? All the Bindstones have this giant beam of light shooting out of it. So it's pretty easy to find the Bindstones. And this is when you die, this is where you respawn. You respawn at this Bindstone. So I hit F. Alright, and you're also going to notice something now in this top portion of your screen, the top right. This is your prowess. So leveling in Darkfall is done through prowess. You get prowess through a couple different ways: through killing monsters, through completing feats, through harvesting resources, and through crafting items. So, and feats can be anything. You can get a feat for killing players, you can get a feat for killing monsters, you can get a feat for harvesting things, whatever. But so just an example, I'm just going to show you in the combat log down here on the bottom left. You will see that you have gained 5 prowess from the completion of a feat. So, you know, it'll tell you how much prowess you're getting for everything you're doing. Alright, now I'm going to continue on following this tutorial. Hit M to bring up my big map. And so you see I have a couple stuff enabled here, so I can see the safe zones. Also, your mouse wheel scrolls in and out, so you can see stuff. You'll notice that they have like a... You start out with not being actually seeing a whole lot of anything. So you basically just see this area around where you're starting. Everywhere else is blacked out. I will put a link to a map that shows all the, you know, a website that has all the spawns listed, just to make it easier to kind of find stuff. So anyways, I'm going to follow this feat, turn on the bank overlay. The bank is this little square thing with the circle in the middle. Now you see on my minimap, bank shows up. So it gives you the coordinates, and it also shows where it is relative to you. So I'm going to zoom in a little. Now you get the detailed view of this city. So I'm right here by the Bindstone. The bank is right there to the northwest. I'm going to hit, I can either hit M to turn off the map, or you can just hit escape, and it exits it just as well. So I'm going to walk up to the bank, I'm going to hit F, and that's going to open the bank. Alright, so withdraw a leather, just going to drag and drop, click this leather, drag it over here to my inventory. So you'll also notice now that you have a bunch of stuff in your inventory. You get 2 bags of this one's armor. Also, double clicking goes into items, and then on the left side you'll see here where it says backpack on the very bottom. You double click that to go back to the next level. So let me just give an example. So I'm going to drag and drop this tools bag into my armor and weapons bag. I'm going to double click the armor and weapons bag, then I'm going to double click the tools bag. So you see here on the left, on the bottom, that it says armors and weapons, then it says backpack. So it'll kind of show all the different levels there on your bottom bar. So I'm actually going to click and drag this guy back out to the backpack level. Alright, this is a portal shard. So at this point, if you want, you can use the portal shard to summon a friend. I'll just show you how to do that quickly. If you look on the right hand side over here on the menu, there's a social tab. You click the social tab. Also, I'll show you as well right now how to minimize the feats. You just left click on this little star. So clicking on it opens it, closes it, and expands from the generic title to the instructions for the feat. Alright, so I have friends list here. Go down to the bottom and click the button that says add, and then you type the name of the person. So, I mean, I don't even know if it's going to find it. Yeah, so I guess you can't find yourself, but you would basically just, you would add the person to your friends list through here. They would get a request themselves on this tab over here. It says friend requests. So they would get a thing over here that says that, oh, you know, I have a friend request here from this person. You hit accept, and then you look at your friends list, and next to your friend's name, so you just X out of the search after you get them added, and then you look on your friends list and you see the person's name, and there will be an icon next to it called summon, where it summons that person. So, and then you hit summon, you go into an animation for a minute or two, your portal shard is consumed, your friend gets a message, you know, so-and-so is trying to summon you, do you accept? And you hit yes, then they get an animation for a minute, and then it portals them here. So you can group up with your friends very quickly after leaving the tutorial. But for now, I'm going to leave my portal shard in my bank, just because I don't have any use for it right now. I'm also just going to put on some armor and weapons. Just double-clicking stuff activates it, so double-click that, put on my robe and my pants. You'll also notice here, since I'm a primalist, I have spirit beads in my inventory. Spirit beads, I'm just going to close this too, are the basic reagent for casting primalist spells. So using a primalist spell will consume a spirit bead. Alright, I'm just going to open up my paper doll again, and I'm going to replace my Dawn staff here. Just drag and drop that off with my crude militant staff, which is a higher ranking staff, so it'll do more damage and such. Alright, I'm going to hit escape, exit out of this, exit out of that menu, scroll through my menu, equip my new staff. Ooh, nice. Alright, now I'll get back to my feats. So, what does it say? Turn on locations of interest. So I'm going to go back to my map. I'm going to select locations of interest, which are these little, it looks like a little house or castle. You click it and all this stuff pops up on your map. These icons here with a hammer are crafting stations. So you put your mouse over it, it tells you what it is. These little yellow dots are NPCs. So we want to find locate the merchant. So the merchant is right north of us. And again, you can kind of see, let me find a better spot to show it, but, oops, hit M. You can see by this little point here what direction you're facing. So you can see it on your mini-map too. As you move around, on the top right, your mini-map, the arrow changes direction. So you can kind of orient where you are. Just go over here to this merchant, hit F to open the merchant window. I'm just going to minimize the feet for a second. So up on the top left here, you'll see the merchant window. There's a buy section and there's a sell section. For now I'm going to click on the sell. I'm going to drag the 30 leather up here, leave it up there, and I'm going to go over to the right and click this little check mark. So now that gave me a couple gold. I'm going to open up this again. It says buy a wood axe from the merchant. Alright, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to go to the buy section. I'm going to double click attachable tools, and now I'm going to double click on my wood axe. So I double clicked it, and now you see down here in my inventory I have a wood axe. Alright, so I'm just going to hit escape and exit out of that window. I'll hit escape again to open my GUI back up, look at my feet thing. So now it says chop 15 timber. So open up my backpack with B. I'm going to equip my wood axe, escape. Now let's find a nice tree to chop down. So you see if you mouse over all these things, it says what they are. And then when you get close enough, you'll see a little icon there that looks like an axe. Hit R, unsheath your axe. Just left click. And now you just have to hit once, left click once per resource node. You'll get the little status bar. Each time it goes. So this one, someone must have already mined out this tree. I'm just gonna hit escape to show something. So you look here on the left in the combat log, it says you're unable to extract more wood from this tree now. So what that means is someone already mined all or chopped all the timber from this tree. They refresh, I think, every 3 hours. So we're just gonna go find another tree. Hopefully up this little spot up here. There's some trees that no one's touched yet. Let's try this guy. Yeah, this can be I don't want to say annoying, but it's kind of a slowdown of pace. But it's worth it to kind of just get started. And also you'll see here now that I just failed to log. It didn't say that you're unable to extract more wood. You only have a certain percent, like a success rate, for harvesting, for all those things. So. And you also notice here that I got a bunch of feats that were unlocked, and I got 1 feat completed. So I got some more prowess up here, up to 36. I also got 1 prowess, I guess from completing that, and I also get a little bit of prowess from just harvesting. So it says a little amount. It doesn't give you the exact percentage, but I guess that generally means that it's less than 1 prowess. So you get a couple prowess for the attempts. If you get special items, you complete feats as well. As you see now, like I'm getting feat timber gatherer completed. So there are lots of different feats, and then actually I'll take this time to just show the feat menu. So I'm going to go over to the right, look at this little star here that says feats. So on the left here now you see that there are filters, so you can look at all feats here, and then you can filter them down by unchecking these. So the only thing you can't unfilter are the newbie feats. So these here are all the newbie feats, and then if I put more of these things back up, you'll see that I get other feats down here that pop up. So these are all the different feats in the game. There are many feats for many prowess. I'm not sure if they're going to make the top level feats repeatable or not, but this is the way it's structured right now. So I'm almost half the way there with the timber. So and the basic goal of all these feats is to get you prowess. So all the character, oops, you have to maintain mouse contact there. All of the character development is done through prowess. So I'm just going to open up my skill menu here, which is the little staff and sword on the right, crossed over. Let me minimize this guy. So you see that all these skills here, general skills, combat, blah blah blah. I'm going to just look at my harvesting skills first. more importantly skinning, which is actually going to be one of the first things I'm going to raise. It sounds silly to raise skinning because it's all skinning does is it makes it so after you kill a monster you can harvest enchanting and I guess it's no enchanting right now, but alchemy mats from the corpse of the monster you killed. But the reason why skinning is very important is because there are a lot of skinning feats. So spending a couple prowess on skinning early on allows you to get a lot more prowess later on. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to click this little green arrow here, and then you get this little menu. You just click and hold this plus thing, and you'll see that it it shows how much you have. You can minimize it. You can click it once, get it whatever you want. I'll leave it at 20 for now. So after you assign this prowess to the skill, that's it. You can't get it back. As of now, there's no prowess refund. So just be a little mindful of that. That if you're going to drop a lot of prowess in something, that's that. Once you assign it, it's there forever. So I'm going to hit yes, and now my skinning skill is 20. Alright, I'm going to assign... Oops. I think I'm just about done with this feat. Yes, I am done with this feat. But I'm just going to show one more thing quick before I go finish that. On the paper doll, you will see that I have stats. So above your gear, you have stats. It has your protections, bludgeoning, piercing, all that, which is your damage mitigation. And then you have your attributes, which basically dictate how much damage you do, how much health you have, how much mana, stamina, and so on and so forth. And you increase this in the same way that you increase your skills. So I am a primalist, so wisdom is my primary attribute. So I'm just going to click here. I'm going to click advance. You're going to notice it's a lot more expensive than advancing skills. So advancing attributes is fairly expensive. I'm actually not going to spend this right now because I'm going to show one other item. Just minimize that. Oops. Open my menu. I'm going to go to this little, I don't know if it's supposed to be a shield or a mask, but this little thing here that says on the right says role management. Click that, open up this window. So what we see here are my role. So currently I'm a primalist. If I wanted, I could update my role. I could switch to a warrior, elementalist. You can do that very quickly. So I think it's like a maybe 5-minute cooldown or something, but it's not substantial, so you can edit that. And what I want to show you is down here are the boosters. So what boosters do are they give you a substantial amount of stats in like prepackaged amounts. So you can pay 200 prowess, and then you get this the wise booster, which will give you plus 10 wisdom, plus 37 mana. And the difference between buying a booster and just raising your primary stat is that through this menu here, you can raise your stat up to 100. Right? Once you hit 100, you need to use the boosters to get it up to 140, which is the max. And you can only have one booster active at a time. So just something to note. Alright, I'm going to continue on with my feats now. Open up my window, so craft wood. So I'm going to hit M, open up my map. I want to find the workbench, which is right here to the south. Go to the workbench. Falling damage. Yeah, this is pretty much the night before beta ends, so I figured I'd do this video. There's probably not going to be many people around. The other thing I just want to note is that you'll notice even with shadows turned off, there is still like shading, and there's still lighting effects. Like all these things kind of like they emit light and such. So you really don't lose any visual quality for turning shadows off. Oops, wrong button. Alright, so I'm going to hit F on the workbench, and I'm going to go to wood cutting. I'm going to double click this. So wood materials here, I'm just going to double click it. I'm going to double click wood, and now you see that this is the crafting menu. This is basically how all crafting menus work in the game. You go up to the proper crafting station, you hit use, and then you select what you want from the menus just by double clicking the items. Alright, so I'm just gonna hit max. This is the little button here. This on the left is for max. The little down arrows go up and down by 1. So again, just hit the max. That's gonna do the most that you can craft right now. And I'm gonna hit the start crafting button. You'll see the same kind of progress bar as when you're chopping the wood. It'll come up. So it says, oh, you got 5 prowess from completing a feat, and you got wood. So you see that I got 2. First time I got 1 wood, the second time I got 2 wood, third time I got 2. I should have gotten, yeah, I guess I did get 6. The first time I just didn't say I got wood times 2. But you do have a failure rate for this as well. You'll see right now it says wood cutting 1, current skill level holds 75% chance of success. So at the lower levels of crafting, you have a very high failure rate. So don't be surprised if you're crafting and doing stuff and you're failing a lot early on. So alright, so I have chopped my wood. Now I need to locate a monster spawn. I'm gonna hit M. I'm gonna zoom out a little. I'm going to find the little horned thing on the left. Click that, turn on monster spawns. Alright, so I see there's one up there and there's one down there. I'm gonna go down to the spiders to the south. Also, you'll notice the this green stuff. So this like green tint means that it's a safe zone. So a safe zone means that no one can attack you ever. So as long as you're in the green section, you're safe. No one can attack you. If you go out of the green section, people can kill you. If you step over that little border, you have maybe a second or 2 to go back, and if you don't, then there's like a 20-30 second cooldown between going back to having your protection. Alright, now before we go out to kill a monster, I'm just going to put some items onto my radial menu. So I want Virtuous Wrath, which is my main damage spell, as a primalist. It's just like a fast-moving bolt of whatever. I'm also just going to take Invigoration, which is a stat regain. It boosts your health and mana regeneration. So I'm gonna put that here. These other ones are things that affect. This is a revive spell. This is a heal other spell. This is an AoE heal other. So I'm just gonna take Bastion, which is my other one, which is greatly increases your armor and such. Alright, now over on my other bar, what I'm going to do is drag my common skills. Heal self, I'm going to put into the 4th slot. Light, I'm going to put in the 5th because I don't really. Actually, I'm just going to take light off because that's unimportant. First one up here, I'm going to put health to mana. These are called your transfer spells. What they basically do is take one stat and turn it into another. So this is health to mana, this is mana to stamina, and this is stamina to health. So these 4 here, these 3 transfers and your 1 heal, are for the skill or spells that you want to level quickly early on. Alright, so I'm going to use my radial or my mouse wheel to select my staff. I'm going to just go south out the gate and find those monsters. So I'm just going to show you the how to work the 2 radio bars more quickly instead of holding down Alt and pulling it up like that. What you do is you use Q and E. So Q activates your left radial, E activates your right. If you look on the bottom of the screen, you'll notice when I hit Q that the numbers show up on the left. If I hit E, the numbers show up on the right. So I'm going to hit Q, and then I'm going to hit 2. So that's my Invigoration spell. Then I'm going to left click, and it's going to cast Invigoration. So I'm going to hit 3, and then it's going to cast Bastion. Alright. So, I mean, as long as I don't hit E, the left radial stays selected. I'm just going to hit escape and show something quick. So these are under your stats. This is your health, stamina, mana. You know, it shows the numbers, and right underneath that it shows active effects. So right now we have Bastion and Invigoration. So it shows you the cooldown, and sometimes it says what it does, sometimes it doesn't say what it does. So, but again, you can always check if you look in your combat log. So just on the bottom left, if you look when I scroll through this, so it says here you boosted yourself and gained 2.5 points of health gain, boost yourself and gain 0.5 mana, and then after I cast Bastion, it's like you gain 3.7 of all these protections. So you can find out what the effects are down there. Alright, and also at the same time, I'm going to use my transfers, so I'm going to hit E just to kind of show you what they do. I'm going to hit 1, and then I'm going to right click. Alright, so you see my health dropped. So what that did is it sacrificed my health, and if my mana was low, it would have given me mana instead. I'm just going to cast it again to show you now the stamina to health. So I'm going to cast that, and then you'll watch see now my health's going up. And again, all these effects you can check on the lower left hand. So, and again, all these things are fairly ineffective at level 1, but as you start leveling up, you'll notice that they get vastly more effective. Once they're at 50, they're pretty effective, and it doesn't take a whole lot of prowess to advance the things to 50. Alright, so I should be almost in this monster spawn here. Should see them soon. There's one. Alright, so I'm going to hit Q. I'm going to hit 1 to select Virtuous Wrath. I'm going to cast it on that black spider. Now you notice that the next spell comes up as Mana Missile. So Virtuous Wrath was on a cooldown. I hit 1 again, cast it again. So it's on cooldown, so when I hit left click again, it automatically casts my Mana Missile. And Mana Missile has a small AoE, not that substantial. I'm missing that. Alright, so I killed that guy. You also notice that he was hitting me with like a poison effect. So we see this corpse, we see this little animation, this like glowing yellow. That means that there's something on the whoops. Wrong button. That means that there's something on the corpse. So I'm gonna hit F. I'm gonna open up the corpse. I'm gonna double click, loot this rawhide. Alright, now I'm going to add my skinner to my paper doll. So I'm gonna open up my backpack. The skinner is the tool that is used for skinning. So drop it there. So I'm gonna use my mouse wheel to pull out my skinner. And I'm just gonna, like, you know, R, unsheath, use it the same exact way as a weapon, just like the wood axe. Walk up to the corpse, which is now not glowing yellow because it's been looted. And I'm going to skin. And yeah, this is going to try and loot something from the corpse. So you'll notice that a bunch of feats were unlocked, but alright, so skill skinning was a success. Item added inferior gristle. So there's my backpack. So inferior gristle. So I just got that from that spider. So I mean, that's the basic of how the PvE works in the game. You kill the monsters, you loot the corpse, you skin the corpse, and you get stuff from that. And all that is giving you prowess the whole time. So I'm already, you know, just from the last couple minutes, I have 151 prowess, which isn't a lot, but it goes a decent ways with your starter skills. So I'm just going to look at my starter skills here. Oh, also one other thing to note, crafting skills. You do not spend prowess on crafting skills. Crafting skills go up through use. So you have to use these to advance. Like, see wood cutting, my wood cutting is 2.22 because I cut some wood. So all these crafting skills go up through using them. Everything else goes up through spending prowess. So I'm just going to go to my combat skills, my staff bolt. And also it shows you down here what the level up improves. So I have 99 to spend. spend it all, see how far it gets me. It's going to go all the way up to 44. Not bad. So now my staff pulls up to 44. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the next portion of the feat, which is use Bindstone Recall. So Bindstone Recall is an ability that you can use to get you back to your Bindstone. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to go to a relatively safe place since you are very vulnerable when you're doing this. It can be interrupted by NPCs or by other players. I'm going to hit M. I'm going to open up my map. I'm going to look on the left over here, and I have two things. I have House Recall. If you owned a house, you could recall to your house. The other is Bindstone. So I'm just going to click it, and it's going to start using the ability. Hit M to close that map. And now you see this little animation here. It makes noise. It, glows blue, and you are recalling back to your Bindstone. So this can be interrupted, as I said, by players. They can knock you back and stop you from recalling, or they can just hit you a couple times while you're doing it. It has a relatively short cooldown. I don't remember exactly what it is. I'll check when we finish recalling. But yeah, it's the basic way of getting back to wherever you're bound. So just wait for that to go. Enjoy the scenery of Mercia, so the human lands. Each of the different lands has a different personality to it, I guess. Human lands are kind of like this, where it's scenic, little rolling hills, trees, bushes. Elfland is, full of gigantic trees, and it's a very lush green land. Mahrim land, which are the wolf people, is kind of like an eternal autumn, so there's a lot of fall colors there. Orklands is pretty much like a gigantic swamp with some volcanoes mixed in. Dwarfland is basically snow, mountains, and lots of iron ore resource nodes. And Alfarland is basically just kind of purplish. There's lots of giant mushrooms, like sharp crags and stuff like that. So it's a nice world. The world is, it's meticulously made. It's nice. It's enjoyable. It's immersive. It's probably one of the better aspects of Darkfall is the world really is nice. So my recall is gonna finish here, and I should get a loading screen for a minute, and then it'll pop me back at my Bindstone. Yay! It was very quick because we were in the same tile. If we were in a different tile, if we were far away from the Bindstone, it would have taken longer. So, alright, it says grab a mount from your bank. So I'm gonna run up here, hit F on my bank. There is a mount magically placed in my bank. Okay, so I got the mount from the bank. Now it's gonna want me to use the mount. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the mount on my paper doll. Go to my paper doll, open my backpack, drag the mount onto the paper doll. Alright, so now I'm going to be able to activate the mount just like any other item. If you're in a safe zone, there's a timer, I think it's like 2 minutes, where 2 minutes after I spawn my mount, so I spawned it just by, just like all the other things on my paper doll and my quick items, where you just scroll with the mouse and then you just click with the left mouse and spawn the thing. So, but yeah, so see what it says next to it, Garmir, Uzik, Ibn Yarak. So for a couple minutes, this guy is mine and no one else can get on it. If you're outside of the safe zones, that doesn't apply, but inside the safe zones it does. So I'm going to walk up to my mount. I'm going to hold down F. So this is a big change from the original Darkfall. You hold down F and you get a radial menu up here. And I'm going to hit use. And use gets you on your mount. And now I'm going to leave the safe zone for a moment. Where's the closest way? I guess I'll go north. Oops. And then that'll, fix the next feat. Ride far from your location as you exit the protected area. So I'm just going north here. See some more pretty landscape. Ooh, pretty. Pull out my staff. There we go. Now I look like a respectable part of the list. So you'll notice all these nodes here. The shiny ones are iron ore, the dull ones are stone, bushes are all over, trees. So basically, you know, you get iron from iron ore nodes, you get stone from the stone ones. The bushes give you cotton and steed grass. Steed grass is used to create mounts. Yeah, and the trees give you wood, which is used for bows and other weapons and stuff. Alright, so I just left the safe zone, so it gave me the little message. You'll also notice on the right hand side of my map I have a little red thing that says you're in an unprotected area. Alright, so now I need to run back in, get to my safe area. So 20 seconds. You see again on the right hand side that I have a cooldown, so you only have to wait 20 seconds to be protected again. So if you're attacked outside the safe zone and you get back in the safe zone, it takes a while for them to get you. And I believe, like, if they kill you but they don't gank you and your timer runs out, they can still gank you. So just be wary of that. You know, Darkfall is a pretty hardcore PvP game. People are constantly going to be out there looking to kill you and take your stuff, so just be aware of that. I'm just going to ride back towards the bank and finish up this last thing. This is pretty much the last part of the basic tutorial, so you know, hopefully you should have a general understanding of how to just go about playing the game with the default bindings. So hit H to get off. Oops, not H, F. My bad, using my own binds. So hit F to get off the Garmir, hold down F, and then we're going to go to this thing here that says despawn. And that's going to put the mount back in your inventory. The other thing to note is that mounts can be killed. So if you're fighting with someone or NPCs, they can kill your mount and then that's it. That mount is gone, you have to get another mount. But they're generally not super expensive. So, okay, so the last portion here is to track a feat. So I'm going to open that feat window again, that little star, and I'm just going to drag a feat up here. So let's see one that gristle, that was from the spider. So I'm just going to click and drag. So click and drag occasional gristle gatherer up to the top. And that's that. So now it, you know, it'll track that. So let's see, I can also track this one. Complete any 3 feats. Drag that up there too. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So now you should know how to, you know, increase your skills. Find out, you know, what feats you want to complete. You see, you know, it has all the prowess amount. It tells you what you have to do and how much prowess you get rewarded for completing it. That's the basics. I mean, you know, you can use these current bindings to go out and kill stuff. The default bindings are not the most effective for PvP and playing the game, but it's definitely doable. So, you know, if you are not interested in setting up advanced bindings or hotkeys, then I wish you the best of luck with the game. Otherwise, if you are interested in doing that, my next video is going to go over how to set up the direct key bindings to make using abilities easier, and also to use auto hotkey, which is perfectly legal. You're allowed to use auto hotkey, nothing wrong with auto hotkey. All it does is it makes your hotkeys more versatile, so you'll be able to hit F and have F cast heal self, rather than hitting E, then hitting, you know, 4 and then hitting right click. So it just makes things a bit easier, makes it PvP a lot smoother. So, alright, well, thanks for watching, and good luck.